Hello and welcome to the Ohio Arts Council's Rife Gallery. This is the DIY Friends and Family workshop for the exhibition In Touch with artist Lo Smith. Today we're going to explore mindfulness in repetitive creation as an extension of the exhibition. We'll hear first from the artist, then gather our materials and work through the project step by step. There will be dedicated pause points in this video, but please work at your own pace and use the video as you need. All right, welcome, Lo.
Hello, thank you. Excited to be here. All right, welcome to the Friends and Family Workshop, the DIY workshop. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this cover image and then we're gonna get into it. So you can see my hand in this cover image. Included in it are a piece of crochet from my great-grandmother, a rope of pearls that I use as a meditative device, as well as herbs that I use in my teas for meditative devices. So this is a reminder and an invitation for everyone who's participating to use this workshop and the skills you use and learn in this workshop to create your own rituals and your own repetition and bring your own flavor and importance to this thing. This is less you do this way and more an invitation. I'm excited. Hello, I'm Lo. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, and as a result, I'm both aggressively Midwestern and unapologetically Black. I'm currently an adjunct professor at the Cleveland Institute of Art, and I have a BA in Visual Arts and Public Health from Brown University. Print and crochet, two favorite things. I believe that both printing and crochet are a big spiritual and physical practice. So I print big. On the far left, you can see me printing on my screens where I'm standing on a table over it because I needed the leverage. Thinking about how print and crochet take up infinite amount of space, they can. They're both infinite things. Infinite loops, infinite letters. They are surfaces that can expand and both hold and express. So that is why I like to use them for meditation, because they're repetitive nature. On the left is Lay It Down, which is one of the pieces in the show right now at the Rife Gallery, which is pieces of crochet that are free-handed crocheted by me. Those letters, like up a neck and across the nose, say Lay It Down, and there's pieces of ephemera from my personal collection, my grandmother's personal collection, and my great-grandmother's personal collection of shiny bits and bobs that we like to ornament ourselves with. And on the right is my beginning of my crochet and knit journey during the pandemic, and that was my first full outfit, which was just a giant scarf. There are no rules. Workshop! I'm so excited. The outcomes of this workshop are a personalized zine. In that zine, you will see examples of crochet that you will make, strategies of rest, and a meditative process to pursue. So what we're not going to do, what's not going to happen is something that's like neat and clean like this. We're going to be funky, we're going to be loose, we're going to be big, because this is about process, not outcome. So in that process, you will need yarn, a crochet hook. A standard size is this. I will be using a bigger size. This is called an ergonomic hook. Tape, a writing utensil, and paper. All right, so we will be working on both sides of the paper. But the way that you get to a zine is you take your full sheet, fold it in half this way, open it back up, fold it in half, hot dog style. So you have 4 pages. You fold it down like that, like that. So you have the inside and the outside. One side of the zine is, or one side of the paper will be the zine we make together. So it looks like that. It's folded. And the inside of the zine will be you answering the questions. What do you need to work on now? Or journaling or drawing a picture. But one side is going to be our process and the other side is going to be your process that you're figuring out now. So within each section, we're going to decorate and journal the guide to meditative rest and crochet. Let's do that. Page 1, your name, guide to rest. Page 2 is crochet is. And you can see here, sticking a thing in a hole, pulling it through a loop. It's 2 steps. It's just those 2 steps. It's going to be a little chaotic. And then when you pop it open, this is my guide, so you get to write whatever you want. When you pop it open, you have all this space And here you will write what you are working on and what you want to change. Or you can draw a picture, or you can do a meditative doodle, but this is your space to establish your rest practice. And then step 4, which we're going to work on today, or together right now, is to make the chain. So this is where you're going to take your yarn and your hook. So as it says, begin your loop with the yarn around your fingers. So we're making a slip knot. So whichever end of the yarn is on top when you make your loop, so this is on top, and then taking whatever is on top through the loop I just made, and I'm pulling. That's a slip knot. So I'll do it again. And in our directions, that's absolutely still true. But depending on which way you turn, the tail or the yarn that's attached to the ball will be on top. So whichever end's on top, you take from the bottom, pull through. That's a slip knot. So then you cut that off. That is step number 1. And you tape it in your booklet, as you see. Now let's make a chain. You make your slip knot, working with the yarn attached to the ball. You scoop the yarn with your hook, my hook's facing up, and you pull it through. Use whatever dexterity you have. You pull it through that knot you just made, that slip knot, that loop you just made, and now you have a chain, and you keep doing that. And you pull it through. So depending on your dexterity, I'm twisting my hook toward me when I loop it. So I'm going under, this is attached to my ball, twisting it toward me, and now I have 4 chains, which you can also see here, 4 chains. And now you're crocheting, you did it. Wow, congratulations. So you're gonna snip this off. The way you finish your crochet is when you have your end, you pull it through and you just pull all the way through. You pull tight. So that's not going anywhere. Repeat and freestyle and stick this in your book. And last but not least, examples of freestyle crochet. So we'll go from left to right. Left, that is an already existing sweater that I decided to add this orange fringe to. So I took the fabric and my hook, I stuck it through the fabric, picked up a loop on the other side of the fabric, pulled it through. Did a little knot action like that. The middle is an adulterated pattern from one of the books that I showed you before. On the far right is a freestyle sweater where I just knew I wanted to cover my body. So again, thinking about repetition in the process as opposed to the outcome. I was just going to make a thing that was big enough to cover me, and then add what felt right and intuitive. So that hanging loop, for example, I fidget. So like that is my fidget sweater. Oh, the books are here. The book recommendations. There's Wool Addicts, which is patternings, contemporary patternings, knitting for radical self-care. A lot of these strategies for that backside of your page you can borrow from crochet and knitting. They're very similar. This long thread is essays from Women of Color about community and connection, and Pom Pom is contemporary essays and patterns as well. From our workshop, we really emphasize the importance of repetition again and mindfulness as opposed to, okay, all of you are going to make a washcloth. And I'm not hating on washcloth, but we want to think about how can we use this process to, and like how many stitches. A typical sweater has 10,000 stitches. That's 10,000 chances to reflect and process. So if we even open that further away from making the sweater and more from getting that nice repetition, that nice meditation going, and having community members talk to each other, learn from each other, there's so much potential in crochet. What's next? You can follow me on Instagram at Lo Smith Studios or my website, losmithstudios.com. On both of those places, I announce fun stuff like this and where I'm headed next.
Right. Thank you again for joining us in this DIY Friends and Family Workshop led by Lo Smith as a part of our programming for the In Touch exhibition. Special thank you to Lo for the generosity of your time and talent, to our curator, Megan Young, as well as to the Ohio Arts Council's board, the Ohio legislature, and the governor who support the Ohio Arts Council, this great space, and of course, Ohio artists. Thanks everyone and have a great day.